Right, so I think we are ready to start. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming to this space. I think this talk here is co-hosted between academic entrepreneurs and Study New South Wales. So thank you so much for Study New South Wales to support us in our efforts to bring entrepreneurship education to as much people as we can. So for people who doesn't know, because we're being live streamed here, in academic entrepreneurs, we believe that entrepreneurship education is the key to solving a lot of the world problems, everything ranging from making the world a better place to empowering individuals to take control of their future, take control of their careers, and make the most out of whatever they can. So that's kind of who we are and what we do. But of course, the focus here today is not on us, but on our speaker, Christopher Peralta. I think I'll just pass the space to you, Chris, for you to introduce yourself and get the session started.
Thank you very much. Actually, it's not about me, it's about the audience. And thank you for allowing us to be part of your entrepreneurial journey. So we have 45 minutes and you must surely have Zoom fatigue these days. So we do have a bunch of slides that I wanted to cover, and we'll go through it very quickly. But I think the key is I want to make sure that there's enough time at the end. Sorry, let me just start the slides here. I want to make sure that there's enough time at the end for you to ask any questions, okay? Also, throughout the time we are going through the slides, if there's any questions at the end of the day, please put it in the chat. And I would also want this to be as interactive as possible. So when there's a few activities, so let's get straight into it. Okay. So today we're talking about how to turn any idea into a successful business. We mentioned about the formalities here. We would love to connect Academy entrepreneurs. And you'll see us on Facebook, Instagram, etc. So let's get started. So who am I? The mysterious Chris Peralta. I'm an entrepreneur like you, and I've mentored more than 500 actual companies in Silicon Valley. I was one of the first mentors at Google Launchpad. I originally from Philippines. I grew up here in Sydney, and then I've been overseas for 21 years, just moved back 2 years ago. And I've been running a lot of accelerator programs for governments, for organizations all around the world. I've raised capital, millions of dollars. My last company also exited to Google, which I invested in. But these days I invest most of my time in my companies. Sorry, next slide here. So we're going to start by me asking you guys a question. So in the chat, or if you are brave enough, just unmute yourself. Tell me about a few good ideas that you've had in the past or you're working on today. So we'll just give you 30 seconds to think about it. I will monitor the chat. Tell me about any good ideas. This could be tech oriented. It could be any ideas, something you're passionate about. And since we're a small group, you could unmute yourself as well or put it in the chat. Tell me about any ideas that have come to your mind. There must be tons of ideas at the moment. In a word or a few words, anyone? Okay. Launching a tour, buddiness. Ah, interesting. Run a blog, okay. And the tour will be around Greater Sydney. Ah, love it. So tourism's coming back in. I lived in Singapore for 6 years as an expat, and we created our own tours for our friends that came visit us. Okay, awesome. Oh yeah, tour business. I thought it was a buddy. a tour buddy. So, or a
Yeah, that
tour.
could work as well. It was just the whole thing of, yeah, the population growing up in Sydney, no one really actually grew up in the city. So it's Greater Sydney where the population is.
Absolutely. And I always tell people that a country's only good as a local to take you out and show you the sights, because we always go to the touristic destinations, but if you can take them to the local sites to understand the culture and everything, that's fantastic. Okay, I love it. All right. So everyone now the best thing about this time is there's a lot of support, not just academic entrepreneurs and Study New South Wales, but there is a lot of support out there for entrepreneurship, and a lot of grants and others, a lot of mentors, a lot of accelerator programs. So take advantage of that. I think that knowledge is power. And if you haven't read any startup or tech books, this is one you can start with, The Lean Startup, Eric Reyes. One of the key principles is build, measure, learn. And the idea or philosophy is you should bring a product to market as soon as possible so that real users can give you feedback, and then you measure it, and then you continue to build and improve on it. So you build, measure, learn, and keep building, okay? Read this book, it's amazing. So a couple of steps, and we'll go through a bunch of things quickly, and we'll come back to Q&A at the end. So step one, 4 apps that will help you succeed. The first one, Google Drive. So Google provides a workspace so you can put all your documents there. You can collaborate and share internally and externally. Google Calendar, no brainer. When you email someone, putting it into your calendar is very, very important. I actually use Calendly, which I will send you in the chat. It's free. And then you send this link to people and they can book in your calendar automatically, and then it updates to your calendar. Trello, we'll always have tons of tasks. So Trello or any other tool that does task management, you should use. Now, a tool is only as good as you using it. So there is so many tools to choose from. So just remember, if you don't use it, it might not be that effective. Okay. At the end of the day, it's all about execution. These tools are meant to help you. Another cool one is Pomodoro for you to focus. Like all the tasks that you have to do in the day, you can set a timer. Okay, I'm going to set 25 minutes here to send an email or a reply or put together a proposal, and then it'll track that and time you. Step 2 in starting business, decide what type of entrepreneur you want to become. So there are a bunch of different businesses out there, and they have different objectives. You could have a lifestyle business, small business, startup, tech startup, which I'm an advocate for, and I have created my own. Entrepreneurship, nonprofit, and social entrepreneurship. We'll go through it in just quickly, very high level. Lifestyle business. This is sometimes you start a business based on your passion or your hobby. And then example would be a food truck. One famous food truck in LA is Koji Korean barbecue. They actually merged two different cultures, Korean barbecue, Korean barbecue and Mexican tacos. So they made Korean barbecue tacos. And what they also did is they leveraged technology and social media. So people would only find their truck if they were following them on Twitter. And so this was a huge movement in LA. So this is one business. 95% of all of the businesses out there are actually small businesses like a bakery or a small shop, or even selling products online. Startups are typically businesses that require high levels of investment in the early stages, and we focus on growth in the short run and look for profitability in the long run. in the early Facebook days, they never really had any revenues. They were building user base, and the idea to monetize the user base in the future was their game plan. But gone are those days. A lot of the times now, you really need to generate revenues as soon as possible. Entrepreneurship, big thing if you're in a corporate or an enterprise or a big company. Google's one example where they foster innovation. They actually give 20% of their time to their employees to build their skills or do some side projects. And they also have an accelerator to help their employees internally to pursue them. So for Google, but also building this entrepreneurship within the company. Non-for-profits, they're really on a social mission to help rather than make money. Social entrepreneurship or impact investing, which is big these days, and we'll talk about the United Nations Sustainability Goals. So quickly, which one sounds like you guys? 30 seconds. What type of business? What is the tour buddies or the tour business? Small business, startup, lifestyle. Definitely. Okay, moving on. So step 3, you really need to connect to your passion and strength and then figure out the opportunity. Now, there is a Japanese concept called Ikigai, and I don't know if you've heard of it, but basically there is 4 quadrants. One is you do what you love, right? And this is your passion. The second quadrant is you do what you're good at. And that's sort of like your superpower, right? Your profession. The other thing is you do what the world needs, and then you do what you get paid for. And I believe it's actually pretty hard to complete all 4. And the last 2 are sometimes the toughest. These days, people are at their job, but they don't love it. They don't find their passion in what they're doing. It's very hard for them to get up in the morning to get to work, but they're getting pretty good money, while others are pursuing their passion, but not finding, a product market fit in the world, and they're not getting paid. And so that's why 35% of Australians have side hustles, because this elusive payment is the toughest thing. And so, Ikigai is meant to be about finding this balance, this life's purpose of all these four components. We're going to do a quick exercise in the chat. If you can tell me, what is your superpower? What is your passion? Is it food? Is it tech, learning? What do you think the world needs? Do they need what you love doing? And then would you get paid for it? So let's do a quick 30 seconds exercise, and just put in the chat, and then we'll move on. And these slides will be available for you guys, so you can continue with these exercises offline. Anyone want to take a stab, or even just putting together tell me what your superpower is and what your passion is. Let's start there. Maybe that's the easiest way. Rob says customer experiences. Okay. Do you love interacting with customers, or is that what you're mentioning? To serve customers. Yes, hospitality, amazing. Andreas says to serve. Okay. Tennis serve, or to serve people, to serve. Manoj, hopefully if I pronounce that right. Video and content creation. I love it. Okay, fantastic. Sheila mentioned listening to people. Fantastic. People development. Okay, awesome. Some people even don't know what their superpower is, which is quite interesting. Okay, Andrea says serve people, help and connect with people. Fantastic. Yeah, I think there was a common theme here. Is it's about a customer, about people. You know, I think that's very important when you're starting a business. Is you have to really find who are your customers. I know we're going ahead here, and understanding what their needs are and how to serve them, even if it's one customer. You know, I was on a yacht last night, and a guy called David Sheen, who he's a famous investor, and he wrote a book called The Dumbest Guy in the Room, or on the Table, sorry. And he was mentioning that at one stage he had a business where there was two cups, and they're identical cups. And his competitor was selling this cup and he was selling the other cup. And there was no differentiation between the two, but he believed it was all about the customer experience at the end of the day. When people spoke to him, he would be bending over backwards to make sure his customers were delighted, right? And that's how he was able to get the edge with his competitor. Now, Ikigai is a very powerful concept. So I highly recommend that you do your checks and balances when you're pursuing your startup journey, to see that, you know, are you doing what you love, what you're good at? The world needs it and you get paid for it. And this is the elusive one, as I mentioned. Step 4, work on your business idea. So the first thing when you think about a business, and a lot of startups, this is their first journey, is you will think about the problem, right? Now, the problem in my mind needs to be a pain point. Your hair is on fire. You're like, oh, I wish I just had this, or I need X to help me with Y. This is a pain point. And because then when you bring it to market, you're servicing a pain point, and people will gravitate towards it. Examples of just general pain points: I never know what to get for my friend's birthday. I actually know someone that could inspire them to buy a gift, but also pull together all their friends to group gift their the birthday present. And it's called Group Together. My dog always smells. Okay, I don't know a solution for that, but every deodorant stains my clothes. Interesting. So what bioactives are needed in the deodorant not to stain the clothes? There are no sugar-free chocolate. Oh, there are, but everything, you know, there's all mock-ups of, you know, even plant-based meat these days as well. But here are some of the problems, you know, that you typically will have. And that's the first step. Figure out what problems are out there around you and are in the world. Then all of a sudden, here you come. You provide a unique solution to help solve this problem. Along the way, you need to communicate your value proposition. And this is very, very important. You know, what is your promise to your customers? What will make you different from the rest of the competition? Your differentiation. And this is sometimes very difficult. The most important piece of advice that I would give is speak to your customers. And when we go back to this, to the Lean Startup book, build your product, get it to market, build your product fast, get it to market, learn from your real customers, not your family and friends, right? They're going to say, oh, it's fantastic, I love it, give you the best reviews. But you need to get in front of real customers, understand their pain points, see how you can help them with your solution. And also they'll have a lot of choices out there. And so you really have to differentiate yourself. I was talking to one startup last night, and they want to bring to market a loyalty program and consolidate it. I'm like, man, it's so crowded, the space. If you don't have something revolutionary, or thinking about Web3 and NFTs with it, or going to the metaverse, then it's not different, and people won't pay attention. So you need to really figure out what is the value you are bringing to your customers. Okay. So in the beginning, you would obviously do a lot of research, but there are, like, one of my companies 10 years ago, we would go to Stanford and go to universities and ask people, hey, by the way, we're launching this app. What do you think? You can get it out there without spending a lot of money. You can ask people. If you're doing a loyalty program, what I said to them last night, go talk to 50 restaurants, 50 hotels, 50, retailers. Talk to them. Find out from your future customers, what are their pain points. You can do research by just walking out the door, right? So examples of value propositions, cost reduction. So you can help a retailer reduce costs by implementing this. Obviously, the convenience, it needs to be simple. Time is your most important asset, so time saving. Fashion trendy, absolutely. And quality, you can't compromise on quality as well. Oops, there's a chat here. I just wanted to scroll back here. Okay, Giorgio said emphasize with others. Okay, beautiful. We'll come back to this. Okay, Coca-Cola's value proposition. What is Coca-Cola's value proposition? I'm not sure. Okay, so United Nations Sustainability Goals, we mentioned about that earlier. And when you think about, well, a lot of my businesses, we're very purpose-driven, and we want to impact the world. Like my company, Silicon Valley headquarters, we want to democratize the support to all entrepreneurs. And that's why I work very closely with Academy of Entrepreneurs, actually partnering with Academy of Entrepreneurs. And because we have the same goals to help as many entrepreneurs as possible, even in emerging markets where it's unaffordable. But I believe, everyone has the right to get the support. And, I've been in Silicon Valley for 10 years, and I think a lot of people think you need to be an insider, Silicon Valley insider, to get connected to all the smart people and the investment and everything. That's not true. When you go there, everyone, the culture, everyone's so open to help, right? But going back to the United Nations Sustainability Goals, these are 17 goals to eliminate poverty, hunger, et cetera, which is, these are very, very important. So have a look at that and see which ones your company is adhering to, or your mission is to be part of these goals. The lean canvas. So step 5, this is the lean canvas. I use this a lot when I work with startups, and we talk about the problem, solution, and the value proposition. But then you look at your differentiation. You really need to look at your customers. Who are they? Where are they? Segment them. Look at customer personas. This is very, very important. Then you look at the channels to market. Are you going to bring it to market by knocking on doors, making calls, social media, creating momentum, movements, etc.? So what's your go-to-market channels? Key metrics. So what's very important is that we can spend a lot of time researching, a lot of time spinning our heels. And it's very important to have targets. And then I always do set 3-year targets. Then I go back to 1 year. Then I do a 6-month breakdown, then a monthly breakdown, then a weekly breakdown. So always have targets that you want to hit every day, week, month, and you know where you're headed. Because along the way in your journey, you're always going to get so many shiny objects that take you on a branch away from your path, right? So you always need to figure out how to come back to your main path of hitting your goals and your mission. Okay. And then you'd complete your cost structure, your business model, and then revenue streams, etc. So it's very important to go through this exercise, and with your team, make sure that, you can't do things alone. I've learned that, and it's very important to have a team and work together to figure it out. There are, again, tons of tools you can use. Canvanizer.com you can use, and it can help you. And it actually puts nice looking sticky notes there online. Step 6, do market research. So before you get out there, obviously do market research, surveys, you can use Google Forms to email people and get feedback. But the first step is really doing some research. So I just go on Google. And the government also has a lot of resources to do market research as well. There is a few slides to show you, but find out more information online and go out there and talk to people, right? You can start offline, because I know with COVID and everything, but you can use Google Forms, like I mentioned. But then also, I think it's best to talk to customers and do focus groups, do a survey, do interviews, get feedback from the masses, as many people as you can. Map your competitors, see what else is out there. I always do SWOT analysis. So it's your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I do it for each competitor. So I check out what their strengths are, their weaknesses, opportunities for us, and threats to the business, right? And so you do it for as many competitors as you can, so you can understand the market. And then at the bottom, what I would typically do is, for each of the competitors, I would write one word, why I actually, or what attracted me on that website or with that competitor, one word. And then I would look at all those 100 and then see how I could differentiate my offering. As I meant, here it is. As I mentioned, you can go to business.gov.au, and there's a wealth of research information here. And again, you'll get the slides here. A lot of statistics. I love statistics, and investors and customers, audiences love statistics. I'm just researching about NFTs. I've got my workspace in Silicon Valley headquarters that's connecting people to all the experts to the NFT ecosystem, to developers, to artists, and etc. And so I found out yesterday that last year, $41 billion was spent buying NFTs, but 400,000 people, or not people, 400,000 users actually bought an NFT. And that could be one person having multiple accounts buying NFTs. So it's still quite small. So these numbers are quite effective. I was also researching about the gaming space and how we're moving to this new modality of a business model of play to earn, where you play games and you earn money. And that's amazing. And so basically, there are 3 billion people that play games in the world. So these statistics are very important to research about and to back your business and your model. 7, nail your value proposition. We talked about your value proposition. You want to make sure that it's unique and it's very simple. Okay, very, very simple. Here's an example of Trello. Is the free, flexible, and visual way to organize anything with anyone. Pretty simple. WordPress, create your new website for free. Can't get simpler than that. Be good with your money, from the big picture to the details that matter. So effortlessly manage your cash flow, budgets, and bills from one place. Simple value proposition. Step 8, everything in life is about relationships. It's very, very important to build your network because everyone has a superpower. And the more people you know, the more likely you can find someone that could help you, or that could be part of your journey, or and so building these relationships is very important. Also, I believe that it's important to gravitate towards people that have been there, done that, because their hindsight could be your foresight. You don't have to go through all their trials and tribulations and their trenches and getting in the trenches and making all those mistakes. You can actually speed it up because you can learn from people that have done that, right? We have a few things in chat. Full screen. Okay, this is full screen. Sorry. Not sure what's happening here. Okay. Why growing your network? Oh, here's the statistics. 87% of entrepreneurs interviewed said their networking was key at the time of developing their business. So networking is very, very, very important. LinkedIn obviously is the biggest one on the professional side, and then social media, and joining Academy of Entrepreneurs and these types of organizations, joining these webinars and being part of the ecosystem, because it's all about a tribe. And as an entrepreneur, we help each other. And I love the amazing initiatives that New South Wales government has to really help you along the journey. This is my business. So 79% said that having mentors saved them from spending countless hours of research and preventing them from mistakes. So there are tons of mentors in Australia, Sydney, not just in Silicon Valley, but there's a lot of expertise here. Get out there. Well, prepare first so that you have your pitch, your value proposition, things like that. And then go to events, join these webinars and meet people and find people that have been there, done that. Step 9, and a lot of this is very basic, so we'll go through it very fast, but it's getting the name. You can use different tools like business name generator. Example here, you can put these words like knit, grannies, love, scarves, and then it can give you ideas of names for your business, which is pretty cool. Name checker to check if it's out there. And when you find your name, make sure that you get the handles on social media before someone else does. Meta or Facebook moved to Meta, and out there is companies that are called Meta. So it's going to be interesting. So you want to make sure that you get all those social media handles. Step 10 is do a type of mood board so that you can get a feel of how you want to be seen, visually and aesthetically. And one thing is to do some mood boards. Just doing collages. Look out there what's inspiring your DNA of your company, and you at the end of the day, look, it's you as well, right? And so what inspires you, what you like, and then do a collage and figure out inspiration for your branding. Color palette. There are different tools to go out there as well. You can use this I think it's called Coolers, or pronounced Coolers. And, you can explore different templates, and then they'll generate ones for you, and then you can decide which one it is. And then you've got that color palette that you can send to your developers. 12, I'm just checking here on time. 12, your logo, different tools that you can see, but just very simple. And they don't need to represent something that's obvious. Like look at Apple. But they're a tech company, so some there's reasons behind it, others there's not. It's just pictorial, they like it. There's a story behind it. The story behind it's very important, the storytelling. You can use tools like Hatchful for stunning logos in seconds. And again, you'll get all these slides. So I'm going to skim faster so we can go to Q&A. Proof of concept is very, very important. You really need to, as I mentioned, get the product or solution or service or your business out there to your customers as fast as possible. Get feedback, because you might, it might save you months and months of work, spinning your heels, and then no one even wants your product at the end of the day. What is the fastest communication channel? You can explore Facebook, Gumtree, and even raise some funding on crowdfunding platforms. Step 14, setting your SMART objectives. We talk about the objectives, very, very important. Set them, be measurable. Also, don't go too big, right? In terms of that objectives that's hard to attain, because then you'll get deflated, right? So also think about, when you're doing targets, make sure that it helps you get to where you want to go, but it's also achievable, okay, or attainable. Make sure, because a lot of the times we say, yeah, I'm going to raise $1 million in 3 months. Raising money is a full-time job and take you minimum 6 months just to get ready, right? Yes, you could have the best idea, and then someone just has the money and loves the idea and loves you, and here's $1 million. Obviously that could happen, but for everyone else, it takes time. So set the SMART goals. Step 15, for your first website, you can go to, you guys know all this stuff, how to get your ABN, and again, we'll send you all these details. Okay. So we just wanted to give you a bit of a background on starting a business. I think one of the key things is the lean canvas. There are a lot of tools out there. There's a lot of support for you guys. So let's open it up to Q&A. Hope that helped. I know it was jam-packed full of stuff, but I wanted to have some time for Q&A. Questions?
I have a question. Now that you mentioned NFTs and all these metaverse world.
Yes.
Because yeah, my idea of business is related.
Okay.
But sometimes like you find so much information that you don't know where to pick. And what you were talking about, like finding someone to follow, someone that can lead you to the correct people and correct information, sometimes is overwhelming, because there's so much out there and you don't know what's real and what's scam.
Yes, absolutely.
So what would be like a good way to find these places or these environments to get the correct people or the correct mentor?
No, it's a great question, particularly because of what's happening in the NFT world. I think the first thing is it's just time, right? It's time that you put in there and you learn along the way. And for me, I've been in the industry for 21 years, and it's just, I've been in Silicon Valley, I've run heaps of programs, and I get exposed to a lot of these experts. And I still don't know, where, what, everything, right? You're not meant to. It's your journey. I think one is you just have to do a lot of research, give it time, and connect to as many organizations that have, companies that are successful, because these are the guys that I gravitate towards, right? And learn from them. You just have to be a sponge, and then you learn, and then you decide what's best for you. And you're going to make mistakes, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be up and down. It's the nature of our business of doing these startups. Now, hope that helped. But to the NFT side and the metaverse, I think we're on the precipice of the next internet. But what people don't realize, and what they see today, is all the hype around flipping NFTs. So people are buying a piece of art, and then they're just buying and selling. And so that's throwing people off because there's some scams and people are coming in and want to make some money. What I do is we use technology to figure out how we can help our existing business. We don't start an NFT business. We've got an existing business and we're using technology to leverage upon it. My recommendation to the audience here is that you always see what's happening in the new world order, because it's interesting, it's scary, but it's, if you can come in early, just like when the first internet, Web 1 came, we had this growth and then it went down and then it equalized. There's a lot of opportunity in this growth. And the important thing to note about NFTs is when you do see the other side, not the hype side, but when you do see the other side, what an NFT is, it's every piece of digital art. If you believe that the next internet is powered by the blockchain, every piece of digital content will be a NFT, right? And that's the powerfulness of it, where we're headed, right? It's not what people see today of $41 billion of NFTs bought and sold because people are just flipping, and there's a small group, tens of thousands of people that have crypto, just want to make money. That seems to be that space. But I'll give you an example. My company, one of my companies, Animal Exchange, we're bringing back a species, right? So we have the DNA material of the last male northern white rhino, and our scientist is working with southern rhinos. Once that's successful, we go working on the two existing females. This is what our business is. And we're leveraging technology to open the door to awareness and funders in the crypto world. And that's why we're generating the NFTs. So that's how we approach it. Okay.
Thank you.
That helps. Any other questions?
Hello.
Hello.
Eduardo here. How are you? Good?
Hello. Good, good. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I've been away for a while, but always working anyway. So if I'm not here, it's because I'm there. Anyway, I got a question regarding my logo. It's just the thing is, I want to make a logo which I don't want people think about what I'm offering. All right, so I just want they see the logo and they understand what I offer. So I was thinking my logo should has the name of my business product, you understand? So my logo is optimediaproduction.com, and I'm working with a few colors and .com. So I want to make stickers, put in everybody's car, like bam. I want to make a t-shirt, I want to hat, my hat, whatever. But I don't want people asking, do you have a website? No, man, look, this is the logo, optimediaproduction.com. That is it. You think, is that a good like planning or good marketing strategy? Or
look, first of all, remember, it's your business. Okay, at the end of the day, you know, you have to be comfortable with that. It's not for me to decide, right? It's you. Okay. Secondly, you have a story, so it's all about the story behind it. People come to you and the story of the business. What's the value proposition? It's not the logo. That's just one way of branding and marketing, right? It's really about the story. They'll come to see you. They'll come for your business, your service, your solution, whatever it is, right? 3, you can also go to like 99 Designs and get different people to give ideas on your logo. And so then you might get inspiration, or maybe there is a good way of associating something else, right? And 4, I typically would approach things where I would get 10 best logos that I like, then ask people, family, friends, others, and people that I don't know as well, and I say, what do you think about this? Just like with my NFT collection, same thing. Ask my family, I ask it. My wife didn't like this, my son liked this. ask people, and then you get to your top 5, then you get your top 3, and then you figure out which one you want to go with. You know what I mean? So you'll decide at the end of the day which one you take, but you've got.
Yeah, I got it. The thing is, I've been like, at the end of the day, I think I waste 5 years of my time just thinking about the name and that. And when I get very excited, I go there. It's not in social media. It's there. It's in Instagram, not on YouTube. You need to work around. It's so hard. So now I'm selling my product already. I just done a quote last night for $7,000, which is my biggest quote ever made. I was a little bit afraid of, I should send it, and I say, you know what, fuck it, send it. I am going, if he don't reply me back in 2 days, I'm going to call him, make sure he don't waste my time. Believe it or not, he sent me an email today asking a specific question, so I know I'm going to close that deal. Anyway, the thing is, I'm planning to make 10 websites offering the same product. At the end of the day, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm more into like video production, stuff like that. So I'm also working with other people, you know, I'm not just by myself, I'm creating a team who also believe in what I'm doing.
But it's good that you're, but it's.
I just want to move forward. So I don't know what to do, to be honest.
Well, look, move forward. And, you know, it sounds like you're experimenting as well. At the end of the day, you know, artists, it's, you know, you have to, if you have targets, and milestones, just work on those targets and milestones, right? Make sure that you're achieving something. And in those targets and milestones, one thing could be, this week, I am finalizing my logo. I'm finalizing which website. I'm finalizing our strategy. So these are your targets. Hit it, move on, right? Because there's so much more. You know, at the end of the day, you have to get in front of your customers. You have to get, you know, figure out your business model here. These are the hardest things. What you're talking about should be the easiest things to do, because the hardest thing is actually creating a business. That's the hardest thing for everyone, including myself, right? All right.
Okay.
Any other questions? I know we've hit 7 p.m. It's been fast and furious, but I love the questions.
Do you do one-on-one mentoring?
I do. I actually do. So I'm not good on social media because all my business has always been, it's just my nature of my business internally. But yeah, just DM me on Instagram, Silicon Valley HQ. And yeah, I'm happy to help. I'm a partner of Academy of Entrepreneurs. And if you need any assistance offline, please let me know. I'm happy to help. Any other questions?
Can you access a presentation? It's possible to have the presentation?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So you can, I'm not too sure how it will be delivered, but let me just double check. I think you've all registered today, so we'll make sure that you get emailed the presentation.
Thank you.
That is my handle, Silicon Valley HQ on Insta, and then yeah, please let me know if I could help with your business. All right. Well, just remember a few things, last 3 things, and I always try to do 3. I know I did 4 in one stage when I responded, but the power of 3 is very important in communication. So and everything in life, you always see 3 blind mice, 3 stooges, 3, 3, 3. So the first thing is, just remember, this is your journey, right? You know, you decide at the end of the day, be a sponge. You decide at the end of the day what works best for you. Okay, it's very, very important. 2, research. You know, there's so much information out there, so much, but knowledge is power. validate it with people, talk to people, bring it to customers, bring it to friends, try to validate it, bring it out into a product, see if the market likes it. Make sure that you do the research first though, because the more information you have, the more you're equipped to enter the space. Yeah. And then 3, look, it's hard. Being a startup founder is hard. It's really hard work. But the great thing is you have support around you. And so reach out, see if we can help you, and have fun along the way if you can, because there is a lot of opportunity. Like I said, we're on the precipice of the next internet. So there's some new opportunities there, but there's existing opportunities as well. There's a lot of unicorns happening in Australia, a lot of smart people bringing amazing products. There's a lot of good that companies are doing in the world as well for impact, for good, which is fantastic. So yeah, there's so much out there. And I know there's a lot of noise, but if you throw yourself out there, do your research so that you become a matter expert in something, right? Harness that Ikigai, okay? Be a matter expert in something, get out there, and you'll meet a lot of people. And the final thing, again, this is the 4th, but the final thing is, one of my mentors in Silicon Valley said, give before you get, right? So giving in the form of your knowledge, your time, anything. If you give, it'll come back to you tenfold. Okay. All right, guys, keep safe. Hope you enjoyed.